Hi, welcome to 7 Facts. I'm glad to see you join me for another episode of the American series. Today I'm going to share with you 7 interesting but not widely known facts about Idaho. Remember that the rest of the series can be found in a dedicated playlist. You can click on the screen now to watch it. If you wish to see the previous series about the 206 countries of our world, you can find all of them on my channel. With that said, let's begin. In the early 19th century, the region that is now Idaho was part of Oregon country, a disputed region between the United States and the United Kingdom. The region was jointly occupied by both Britain and the US until a treaty was signed between the two which attributed the region to America. But even after this, Idaho didn't exist as a separate entity until 1863, when it was organized as a territory, not a state. Eventually, it was admitted to the Union in 1890, becoming the 43rd state. The exact origin of the name Idaho remains somewhat a mystery. In the early 1860s, when the United States Congress was considering organizing a new territory in the Rocky Mountains, eccentric lobbyist George M. Willing suggested the name Idaho, which he claimed was derived from a Shoshone language term meaning "the sun comes from the mountains" or "gem of the mountains." Willing later admitted that he had simply invented the name, but to this day some books still list Idaho as a legitimate Shoshone word. The Great Depression was a worldwide economic crisis that took place during the 1930s. The Depression originated in the United States after a major fall in stock prices that began around September 4, 1929, and became worldwide news with the stock market crash of October 29, known as Black Tuesday. This was the longest, deepest, and most widespread depression of the 20th century, and in fact today the Great Depression is commonly used as an example of how far the world's economy can decline. Idaho, an agricultural state, was one of the hardest hit of the Pacific Northwest states during the Great Depression. Prices plummeted for Idaho's major crops. In 1932, a bushel of potatoes brought only 10 cents compared to $1.51 in 1919, while farmers saw their annual income of $686 in 1929 drop to just $250 in just 3 years. The landscape of Idaho is rugged, with some of the largest unspoiled natural areas in the United States. For example, the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness has the most wilderness in the lower 48 states, with 9,578 square kilometers of backcountry. The combined wilderness of Idaho is greater than the US's 3 smaller states combined. Idaho is quite mountainous and contains several stretches of the Rocky Mountains. Additionally, around 38% of Idaho's land is held by the United States Forest Service, the most of any state. And so, although it's the 14th largest US state, Idaho has a population of only 1.7 million people. The capital city of Idaho is Boise. As the story goes, Boise got its name when French-Canadian fur trappers arrived in the 1800s and stumbled on the Boise River Valley, thickly lined with cottonwoods. They were so relieved to find shade and water after traveling through Idaho's high deserts that they shouted "Le bois, meaning the woods. Today, Boise lives up to this moniker with over 45,000 trees in public spaces spread through the valley. Most people think the Grand Canyon is the deepest canyon in the US. Wrong. Northern Idaho's Hell's Canyon is the deepest river-carved canyon on the continent. The Snake River that runs through it sits 2.4 kilometers below the east rim at its highest point. That makes it about 600 meters deeper than Arizona's Showpiece. Coming in a hot second is Idaho's Salmon River Gorge, where the granite walls rise 2.1 kilometers above the valley floor. The history of nuclear energy for peaceful application has principally been written in Idaho. On July 17, 1955, Arco, Idaho became the first city in the world to use electricity generated from nuclear power. The Borax-3 reactor provided the energy from the National Reactor Testing Station. Unfortunately, on January 3, 1961, the station suffered a reactor meltdown that led to 3 deaths. It became the world's first fatal nuclear reactor accident. And there you have it. These were 7 facts about Idaho. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I upload brand new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. If you have anything to say, don't be shy and leave a comment downstairs. If you wish to support this channel even more, there's a Patreon page where you can become a patron. Click on the screen now or find the link in the description. I hope to see you next time. Bye.